Sorry about that. I had to separate this in two parts. But like I said, there's no doubt about that. If you're going to also focus Daniel Bryan possibly in a marquee matchup and make it a four-way main event match, a four-way a quadruple main event, not a triple main event, double main event, but a quadruple main event. Um, it, to me, you got to focus, and like I said, like I was saying, and you want to focus Daniel Bryan into maybe a marquee matchup, then, like I said, you got to put him in there with Prince Devitt or Kentai, because if you're bringing them in, and I got a feeling those two are going to be on the main roster in big, and hopefully in big key roles before the year's out. I mean, either the heels or faces, you got to bring them in, and you got to put Daniel Bryan against them because that's what fans are going to want. I mean, if this interview with Bleacher Report is any indication that originally last year the plan was Daniel Bryan, CM Punk, and then when Punk left, Daniel Bryan, Sheamus, and then after that didn't happen, Daniel Bryan, then basically them going with Daniel Bryan against the Authority kind of deal again. Like I said, they, I think they need to make up for that this year. I mean, not this year. Well, they have to make up for it this year in the sense of Daniel Bryan either becoming champion again at Mania or doing something special with him. But like I said, they got to make up for that somehow. And I think when you have Kentai and Prince Devitt both on the main roster before this year's out, fans are going to want them against Daniel Bryan. You know that already. So to me, if you want to add Daniel Bryan to the mix next year and give him a marquee matchup, maybe a semi-main event that maybe in the middle of the card, that's before the triple, before the meat, the main course, if you will, of WrestleMania 32, which is the reason you would have 110,000 people selling out that venue. You got to put him in a key matchup, and to me, either Prince Devitt or Kentai are one of those two key matchups, key elements that need to happen. Now you might say, well, what about Kevin Owens? What about Sam Zaney? Those two are good options too, but I look at Kevin Owens, and again, like I said, he's a good option to go against Daniel Bryan as well, but I see Kevin Owens as being somebody that if there's any rumor, if there's any truth to the rumor that WWE will go back to TV 14 before WrestleMania next year, and going into next year and before WrestleMania, if there's any truth to that, then I see Kevin Owens being a kind of a TV 14-like character that could end up in a feud with, say, a Dean Ambrose. And I see a Dean Ambrose and Kevin Owens program probably leading into Mania next year that could really benefit both of them. So I do see that. I do see that possibility there. But to me, these are just things that I think WWE needs to do. WWE needs to do starting the night after this year's Mania. Because like I said in part one, focus on this year's WrestleMania. Focus on building towards your matchups, your rivalries and everything, culminating at WrestleMania this year at Levi Stadium. Focus on that. And then the night after, start building that foundation. Start setting that foundation for WrestleMania at AT&T. And start laying that foundation to where you can start slowly building to an event that's going to help you break that attendance record that you set back at WrestleMania 3. So to me, that's what needs to occur. That's what needs to occur. And again, like I said, whether you agree with me or not, the marquee matchups that need to happen, Sting Taker, obviously, because if they're not doing Sting and Taker this year, then them going to AT&T Stadium next year is the obvious reason they're not doing it. This is the obvious reason why they're not doing that match this year, because they're saving it for next year at AT&T. The other one, like I said, Triple H Rock. Because despite all the matches, one-on-one matches they've had with each other, they've never had a marquee WrestleMania one-on-one match, and the same with the Randy Orton John Cena matchup. That's they got to have a marquee one-on-one WrestleMania match, and the reason being is because if Randy and John are this generation's faces of the WWE, if they're this generation's answer to, let's say, Hogan, Savage, or Austin, Rock in the WWE's eyes, if they're that, then they need to have that marquee matchup. They need to have that one-on-one marquee matchup at WrestleMania. And despite what fans think, despite how fans will feel about that, they know that's true. I mean, hey, look at it this way. How many times have we had Rock against Austin one-on-one in non-WrestleMania environments? How many times? Not many, but how many times? Just asking. And then when they would have their marquee WrestleMania match, how many times did that happen? Right. Exactly. Every other year. It happened at 15, it happened at 17, and then it happened at 19. Randy and John have never had that opportunity. This year, next year, at WrestleMania 32, if WWE's intention is main goal is to try to sell out that arena, that stadium, break the indoor attendance record of what I feel could be 110,000 people. Because if you add, like I see, the seating floor, the seating on the field, then to me, Randy and John have to have that marquee one-on-one matchup at Mania. That's got to be one of the key factors that helps in doing so. Same with Triple H and Rock. And then, like I say, with Daniel Bryan, semi-main event if you want to put him in it. If you want to give him that. And like I said, a semi-main event match with, let's say, someone like a Prince Devitt, a Kentai, maybe an Owens, but mostly a Kentai or a Devitt will definitely help sell that too. And in Owens, I believe, like I said, he could be an option for Daniel Bryan if he's built right. But I think if he's brought up to the main roster soon, it's going to be Owens and Ambrose. It's going to be one of the matchups that might attract people to WrestleMania 32 next year. Again, that's just my opinion. I'm not saying that this is all set in stone, but obviously you got to look at it this way. If we're not having Sting and Undertaker this year at WrestleMania 31, then it's obvious that they're saving that matchup for WrestleMania 32. And then along with the other marquee matchups that I've talked about and the possible semi-main event matchup that will basically be the appetizer and lead you right into those matchups, whether they're good or not, to me, will help sell the event. It'll help sell it. It'll help sell the event. It'll help, in my opinion, boost ticket sales and get 110,000 people in there. That's my opinion. Another way you're going to be able to do it too is the night before. Which is the Hall of Fame ceremony. And I think if Taker's not going in this year, he's going in next year. It's too obvious. Everything's too obviously aligned for that not to happen, and for the match with Sting not to happen, and for these other marquee matchups not to happen. Too much is aligned for this to occur. But again, like I said, lay the foundation after Mania this year. Don't overlook this year's Mania like you did with 28, like you did with 27 because you wanted to focus on 28. No, focus straight ahead for this year's. Keep an eye on this year's, but then the night after, focus on building the foundations, laying the foundations for the next year. That's the way I look at it. And again, that's just my opinion, but like I said, in addition to that, Undertaker headlining the Hall of Fame class next year will be another key reason you'll get that 110,000 sellout in attendance, record-breaking attendance sellout. That's what I feel is going to happen. And again, this is just all my opinion, just my thoughts, and that's really all I could say about it. So let me know what you guys think down below. Sorry this was in 2 parts, but again, let me know what you guys think down below if you agree with anything I've said in this 2-part video. But those are just my thoughts on WrestleMania 32 at AT&T Stadium next year, and what I believe has to be the marquee matchups that'll help draw in a record-breaking basically an indoor attendance, basically a record-breaking indoor attendance audience into the stadium. You know, those are the ones, along with the semi-main event that I mentioned, and possibly the Hall of Fame show the night before, and who would be headlining it. To me, all those elements are key elements that to me will help draw 110,000 people into that stadium to help break that indoor attendance record that WWE set back in 1987. So let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. Again, this is my thoughts and opinion, and I'll talk to y'all later.